The online student.
Designed for May 2026 session, IB Economics, Standard Level and Higher Level, Paper 2.
Yemen.
A1. Define the term disinflation. Text A, paragraph 3. 2 marks. Level 1. A vague or partial definition of disinflation. An answer that only states that inflation is going down without making clear that the inflation rate remains positive. 1 mark.
Level 2. A clear and accurate definition of disinflation. An accurate explanation that disinflation is a fall in the rate of inflation, i.e., prices are still rising on average but at a slower rate than before. Or, a decrease in the positive inflation rate and not deflation where the price level falls. 2 marks.
A2. Define the term negative externalities. Text C, paragraph 12. 2 marks. Level 1. A vague or partial definition of negative externalities. An answer that only states that they are bad effects on others without linking to third parties or to market outcomes. 1 mark.
Level 2. A clear and accurate definition of negative externalities. An accurate explanation that negative externalities are external costs created by the production or consumption of a good or service that spill over to third parties who are not directly involved in the transaction, leading to overproduction or overconsumption from society's point of view. 2 marks.
B1. Using the data in Table 1, calculate the approximate percentage change in Yemen's nominal GDP between 2020 and 2024. 2 marks.
Using data from Table 1, GDP in 2020 equals $21.0 billion. GDP in 2024 equals $19.1 billion. Calculation. Equals GDP in 2024 minus GDP in 2020 divided by GDP in 2020 times 100. Equals $19.1 billion minus $21.0 billion divided by $21.0 billion times 100 equals minus 9.05%. A correct numerical answer showing minus 9.05% without working merits 1 mark.
B2. Using the data in Table 1 and Table 2, calculate the number of people in Yemen living in poverty in 2024. 2 marks. Data from Table 1 and Table 2. Population in 2024 equals 34.0 million. Poverty rate in 2024 equals 80% or 0.80. Number of people in poverty equals population times poverty rate. 34.0 million times 80% equals 27.2 million. A correct numerical answer showing 27.2 million without working merits 1 mark. B3. Using the data in Table 1, identify the year disinflation set in. 1 mark. 2024.
C. Using an aggregate demand and aggregate supply diagram, explain how an increase in foreign grants and concessional financing that supports government spending on infrastructure and basic services, Text B, paragraph 6, and Text C, paragraph 11, could affect real GDP and the general price level in Yemen. 4 marks.
Level 1. A correctly labeled AD-AS diagram showing AD and SRAS curves with a rightward shift in AD from AD1 to AD2 and showing a new equilibrium with higher real GDP and the average price level. Or, a basic explanation that foreign grants increase government spending, where G is a component of AD, shifting the AD rightward. 1 to 2 marks. Level 2. A correctly labeled AD-AS diagram showing AD and SRAS curves with a rightward shift in AD from AD1 to AD2 and showing a new equilibrium with higher real GDP and the average price level, and a clear explanation that foreign grants or concessional financing, Text B, paragraph 6, enable higher government spending on infrastructure and/or services, Text C, paragraph 11, where G is a component of AD, shifting the AD rightward and resulting in higher real GDP and average price level in the short run. 3 to 4 marks. Candidates who incorrectly label diagrams can be awarded a maximum of 3 marks. For ADAS, the vertical axis may be average or general price level, APL, or price level. The horizontal axis may be real output, real national output, real income, real national income, real GDP, or real Y. A title is not necessary.
D. Using a foreign exchange market diagram for the Yemeni rial, explain how a widening current account deficit, Table 1 and Text B, Paragraph 5, could affect the exchange rate of the Yemeni rial against the US dollar. 4 marks.
Level 1. A correctly labeled foreign exchange market diagram for Yemeni rial, showing the demand and supply curves for YER with rightward shift in supply of YER or leftward shift in demand. Or a basic explanation that widening current account deficit, Table 1 and Text B, Paragraph 5, increases supply of YER to buy foreign currency for imports, causing depreciation. 1 to 2 marks.
Level 2. A correctly labeled foreign exchange market diagram for Yemeni rial, showing the demand and supply curves for YER with rightward shift in supply of YER or leftward shift in demand, leading to a new equilibrium at a lower exchange rate, more YER per US dollar. And a clear explanation that a widening current account deficit, Table 1 shows growing deficit and Text B, Paragraph 5, means there are more imports than exports, increasing supply of YER on the foreign exchange market to purchase US dollars for buying imports, leading to a depreciating YER, fall in value, making exports cheaper and imports more expensive. 3 to 4 marks.
Candidates who incorrectly label diagrams can be awarded a maximum of 3 marks. For an exchange rate diagram, the vertical axis may be price of the Yemeni rial in another currency, typically USD. The horizontal axis should be quantity or quantity of Yemeni rial. A title is not necessary. E. Using an externalities diagram, explain how dependence on fossil fuel generators and low-quality fuels in urban areas, Text C, Paragraph 12, can lead to market failure due to negative externalities of production. 4 marks. Level 1. A correctly labeled externalities diagram showing an MSC above an MPC, an MSB and an MPB, where MPB equals MSB, and showing a market equilibrium quantity QM and a social optimum quantity QS, and that QM is greater than QS. The diagram needs to indicate the negative externalities of production between the MSC and MPC. Or, a basic explanation that fossil fuel generators create negative externalities, Text C, Paragraph 12, leading to overproduction as private costs exclude external costs. 1 to 2 marks. Level 2. A correctly labeled externalities diagram showing an MSC above an MPC, an MSB, and an MPB, where MPB equals MSB, and showing a market equilibrium quantity, QM, and a social optimum quantity, QS, and that QM is greater than QS. The diagram needs to indicate the negative externalities of production between the MSC and MPC, and a clear explanation that dependence on fossil fuel generators and low-quality fuels, Text C, Paragraph 12, generates negative production externalities, air pollution and health costs, as these externalities or costs are not paid for by the energy operators producing the energy, hence resulting in MSC greater than MPC. The market produces QM greater than QS, indicating overproduction, causing allocative inefficiency where demand is not equal to supply, and market failure results. 3 to 4 marks. Candidates who incorrectly label diagrams can be awarded a maximum of 3 marks. The MSC and MPC must be indicated as such and not supply. The MSB and MPB must be indicated as such and not demand. The indication of the deadweight loss on the diagram is optional. A reference to the deadweight loss or welfare loss in the explanation is also optional. F. Using a production possibilities curve diagram, explain how improvements in human capital and infrastructure, Text C, Paragraph 11,
could contribute to long-term economic growth in Yemen. 4 marks. Level 1. A correctly labeled PPC diagram showing an initial PPC1 closer to the origin and another PPC2 further away from the origin. Or, a basic explanation that improvements in human capital and infrastructure increase productive capacity, shifting PPC outward with economic growth. 1 to 2 marks. Level 2. A correctly labeled PPC diagram showing an initial PPC1 closer to the origin and another PPC2 further away from the origin. And a clear explanation that investments in education and training, human capital, and infrastructure, text C, paragraph 11, leads to improvements in productivity and efficiency, shifting PPC1 outward to PPC2, enabling higher output combinations and representing long-term economic growth in Yemen. 3 to 4 marks. Candidates who incorrectly label diagrams can be awarded a maximum of 3 marks. For the PPC diagram, the vertical axis should be capital goods and the horizontal axis should be consumer goods. Or the 2 axes may represent 2 different sectors of the economy or 2 different types of goods and services produced in the economy. A title for the diagram is not necessary. G. Using information from the text or data and your knowledge of economics, discuss the possible supply side and other policies that the Yemeni government and international partners could implement to promote economic growth and economic development, particularly in support of SDG 9, Industry, Innovation and Infrastructure, and SDG 16, Peace, Justice and Strong Institutions. 15 marks. Examiners should be aware that candidates may take a different approach, which, if appropriate, should be rewarded. Command term. Discuss requires candidates to offer a considered and balanced review that includes a range of arguments, factors, or hypotheses. Opinions or conclusions should be presented clearly and supported by appropriate evidence. Responses may include explanation of supply-side policies aimed at improving economic growth and development, with links to SDG 9, Industry, Innovation and Institutions, and SDG 16, Peace, Justice and Strong Institutions. Possible supply-side policies and international support for Yemen. Investment in infrastructure. Rehabilitation and expansion of transport networks, electricity, water, and digital infrastructure to address critical gaps limiting industrial productivity and service provision. Text C, paragraph 11. Improves connectivity and efficiency, fostering economic diversification and private sector growth. Human capital development. Expanding access to education, vocational training, and health services to build skills and improve labor productivity, directly targeting skill shortages reported in text C, paragraph 11. Promoting innovation and technology. Supporting research, technology adoption, and innovation hubs to diversify industrial output and add value to exports, aligned with SDG 9. Environmental sustainability. Encouraging renewable energy development, solar, wind, hydropower, to reduce dependence on fossil fuels, reduce pollution, and address externalities identified in text C, paragraph 12. Governance and institutional reform. Strengthening public institutions, improving rule of law, reducing corruption, and enhancing public financial management to promote stability and trust, essential for peace and inclusive growth, aligned with SDG 16. Security and political stability. Addressing conflict drivers to create a peaceful environment conducive to investment and development. Trade facilitation and integration. Working to join the WTO and deepen regional trade agreements to expand market access and attract foreign direct investment. Text B, paragraph 7. Macroeconomic stabilization. Managing inflation, exchange rate stability, and debt sustainability to create a stable environment for growth and poverty reduction. Text A, paragraph 3, and text B, paragraph 8. Social safety nets and poverty alleviation. Expanding social protection to reduce multidimensional poverty. Text C, paragraph 9. Ensuring economic growth benefits the poor and reducing inequality. Trade-offs and challenges. High political and security risks limit policy implementation and foreign investment. Fiscal constraints and dependence on external aid could limit scale and speed of reforms. Balancing short-term humanitarian needs with long-term structural reforms. Managing environmental risks while pursuing industrial growth.
Balanced judgments. Supply-side policies are essential for addressing Yemen's deep structural challenges and achieving SDGs 9 and 16, but require sustained commitment and international support. Peace and strong institutions are foundational prerequisites for effective policy implementation and economic transformation. Any reasonable discussion.
Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe.